Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you present today in the GK class. As our half yearly has been already over, and what I remember is that the last class was also the pre-recorded one, which we have already done it before the half yearly, as we have already started the starting 2 pages of the periodic test 2. So I thought that we have to revise it once again so that we do not waste time. Okay, so that is why I revised that part, but some of the confusions were there that admins asked me, that is what was the reason for this. Some of the students were having a query regarding this, that is this class was getting repeated. So of course it was getting repeated because this we have already completed, and these are the only first 2 pages of the annual portion which we have to do. So since we have already done, so that is why we had a quick revision of that. Since we know that this COVID-19 situation is declining day by day, so this is really a good news for this, but for us, but all of us, we are very much aware of this part as well, that is the second round of attack or the second pandemic attack can occur. The predictions are there by the scientists and everyone, that is the pandemic attack can be back in winters when the pollution level is much more. Okay, so since the chances are there, fears are there, so I request each and every one of you to take care of yourself. Please take all the necessary maintain all the necessary hygienic conditions, so that hygienic practices as well, so that we remain free from any kind of microbes, even whether it is bacteria or virus or anything. Since the cases of dengue and malaria, they have also been started here, so I request each and every one of you to take all the necessary precautions and take care of yourself. Okay, starting with this, here what we have is, first I'll be sharing you what we are going to do today, and thereafter we'll be starting with our class today. Is that clear? So let us have a look over this. When we are talking about the syllabus, so basically this was our syllabus. Okay, periodic test 1, this all has been completed. Regarding the annual term, that is our term 2. So in this case, that is page number, since I have already told you that we'll be first completing our periodic test 2, and thereafter we'll be going ahead with our annual part. So since we have already started with this, that is we have completed this part, these 2 page numbers has been already done. So today we'll be doing the first 2 page numbers, that is your 43 and 48 of India and the world. Okay, so these 2 page numbers we will be doing along with the current affairs and some of the images related or the pictures related to all the related to both these pages. Okay, so let us have a look over this and let us start with our class today. Okay, 43 and 48. Okay. Okay, so this is the first page number, that is our page number 43, that is the world of mythology or mythology, anything you can pronounce depending on you. Okay, so this is what basically is, that is the very first one, choose the correct options. According to Norse mythology, which body part was sacrificed by King Odin for wisdom? So it was the eye which was sacrificed. Eye is one of our body parts. Okay, next is, which of these is a weapon that is typically associated with Lord Krishna? This is your Sudarshan Chakra basically. Okay, which he used to hold it in his fingers. Okay, index finger. I hope I'll be showing you the images related to this. Please have a look over it. Okay, so this is the image of the Sudarshan Chakra. Okay, if you can see here, which Lord Krishna used to hold it in his fingers, and he used to kill the enemies or the people who used to do wrong, that is we call them to be Rakshas and any other people, okay, who is doing wrong on the earth's surface. Okay, we would have seen this in the Ramayana and Mahabharat and everywhere. Okay, So starting with this is your basically Sudarshan Chakra. Next we have, as you can see here, some of the shlokas has been also written, that is Tumev Mata Chapita Tumev, Tumev Bandhush Sakha Tumev, Tumev Vidya Dravidam Tumev, Tumev Sarvam Mam Deva Deva. Okay, this is basically for the gurus as well. Okay, or maybe not. Let us go ahead with the next part. So next is that is who among these is worshipped as the destroyer in Hindu mythology. So that is our Lord Shiva, all of us we know. Next we have, that is the number 4. So who among these is not an avatar of Vishnu? Okay, so Hanuman is not an avatar of Vishnu. Okay, next is, that is which hero of Greek mythology stole fire from heaven and brought it to the earth? Okay, so according to Greek mythology, whatever the fire which is present on the surface of the earth, this has been brought from the heaven by Prometheus. Okay, Prometheus. Let us have a look over him as well. He was known as your Prometheus. Okay, so he was the person who is believed to stole fire from the heaven and bring it to the surface of the earth. Okay, going ahead with this. So next we have, that is which hero of the Greek mythology. Okay, this one we have done. Sixth one, that is according to legend, where would you find the Scottish monster Nessie? So this Scottish monster Nessie is basically nothing but your Loch Ness or Loch Ness. Let us have a look over this as well, as it is a monster. Okay, this is your Loch Ness. Okay, this Loch Ness is believed to be having the shape like of a giant eel. Okay, eel is one of the aquatic organisms which is having a U-shaped in this kind of structure. Okay, and this is considered to be having similar shape like this, and the giantness can be even more than the whales or even up to the reptiles, as we have seen the dinosaurs. Some of the images are there. I also don't know what is the truth behind it or what is the reality behind this, but the images which were there on the Google, some of the images were very small, but some of the images in which the complete structure was shown, that was showing you the entire part, that is the size was approximately equal to that of your dinosaurs as well. Okay, or even more than that. So in this way, this part we have done. Moving ahead with this, so what we are going to see here is, next is, what is the name of the goddess of discord according to Greek mythology? Okay, name of the goddess of discord. So name of the goddess of discord is your Eris. We have here Eris as well. Okay, so she is considered to be the goddess of discord, that is your Eris, and she is considered as per the Greek mythology. Okay, next if we go ahead with this, so we have that according to legend, which king's brave knights spend their lives looking for the Holy Grail? Okay, now what is this Grail? I don't know. Let us have a look over it first, and thereafter I'll be telling you what is this Holy Grail which we are talking about. Okay, so in this case, that is the legend's name is your King Arthur, and he was the person whose brave knights spent their lives looking for the Holy Grail, and this Holy Grail basically Holy Grail in Christian language, it is basically the last फूड आइटम विच यू कैन से, दैट इज़ हिंदी में अगर इसको बोला जाए तो अंतिम भोज में ईसा मसीह द्वारा इस्तेमाल किया गया प्याला. ओके, दैट इज़ द chalice used by the Christ at the last supper. Okay, this was your Holy Grail. Okay, next the image of this person, that is your King Arthur, is this one, the left hand side. This person is your King Arthur. Okay. Next we have again one of the goddess, basically, which Greco-Roman hero performed 12 great labors at Delphi. Okay, basically the name of this hero is your Hercules, and the image is this one. Okay, so he was the person, this is the right one, that is he was the person who was known as Hercules. Moving ahead with this, so we have the last one, that is what is the name of the Duryodhana's sister in the Mahabharat. So Duryodhana's sister in the Mahabharat was दुहसला. ओके, अब यहाँ पे आप ध्यान दीजिएगा कि एक कंफ्यूजन भी है. आप गूगल सर्च करोगे आपको तो दोनों नाम से मिलेंगे, दुसहला भी है एंड दुहसला भी है. ठीक है, मीन्स DUHSALA इज ऑल्सो देयर and DUSHALA is also there. So both the things are present. Please do not get into any kind of confusions related to this. Go for your Duhsala only as per given in your books. Okay, so here the image of Duhsala, that is the Duryodhana's sister, okay, in Mahabharat. She was Duhsala. Okay, next we have here is a fact file. Okay, in 1200 CE, the Aztecs of northern Mexico left their homeland and followed their leaders to south. In a dream, the leader was told where to build the capital city. Okay, think box. Often myths from various parts of the world are very similar to each other. Why do you think this happens? Discuss in the class. Okay, now see, as all of us, we know this part very clearly. We know this thing, that is we have different kinds of gods as well as goddess who are present. Where they are present we don't know, but still we say that they are present in our soul only, that is they reside in our body only, but still we keep on trying to find them outside our body. Okay, that is in the temples, mosques, church and everywhere. Okay, but though this is what is, that is why these temples, mosque or church are being made, is that is there needs to be a point of concentration. That is you very well know this thing, that is if you have to read a book, so the book has to be in front of you, then only you will be able to pay much more attention into that. Okay, in the same way, if you want to just think about God, so when simply idly wherever you are sitting just now, if you start thinking about God, so it will take some time for you. Why? Because lots of things will keep on going inside your mind. If you close your eyes, so you'll be having some of the images related to the playground, some of the images related to the class, teachers, friends, mothers, parents, everyone. Okay, so it will take some time, at least 30 seconds or 1 minute to get on to that God, particular God which you are thinking about, whether it is your any god related to your temples, church, mosque or anywhere else. Okay, but here it is that when you go to the temple, so since the person or the god or the goddess is in front of you, so you get to have the image very quickly, and since you get to have the image very quickly, you are able to get in touch with them. Okay, with the soul or with some inner consciousness, whatever you can say. Okay, that is you are able to get in touch with them very quickly. You don't have to just think about it or pay some more pressure on your brains, but this happens in this case as well. Okay, that is if you just start thinking about them in the temple as well, due to the ringing of the bells and every other structures or the bhakti songs or whatever these are there, which rituals which keep on going in the temples, churches, mosque or everywhere. Okay, so there you will be able to find that these help us to concentrate there or to have a focus on our these structures, so that we are able to pay much more attention and spend some more time with them. Okay, एंड इट इज़ माई हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट, दैट इज़ ये आपका योगा में भी आ जाता है कि अगर आप लोग कोशिश करें इस चीज़ को, तो just start thinking about them, or just start concentrating on your body parts only by just closing your eyes. You'll be able to find that you will not be able to do it very quickly, or you will not be able to do it for a longer period of time, because all of a sudden, the moment you close your eyes, a lot of things start roaming in your brain. Even now as well, when you are attending the class with me, okay, at this point of time also, you would be having, some of you would be having some or the other dreams which are going on inside your mind. Okay, so these are the things which keep on happening. Why? Because we are not able to concentrate our mind at one place. And the moment, ये भी आप लिख करके रख लीजिए, या फिर एकदम अच्छे, बहुत अच्छे तरीके से अपने दिमाग में बैठा लीजिए कि the moment we are able to concentrate our mind at one place, you will find that you'll be able to achieve each and everything. ठीक है, बस फोकस करने की ज़रूरत है, फोकस आप ही को करना पड़ेगा. ओके, लेट अस, आई नो दैट मैं बोल रहा हूँ तो ऐसा नहीं है कि ये मेरे लिए बहुत आसान है. ठीक है, इवन आई एम ऑल्सो नॉट एबल टू डू दैट, एंड दैट इज़ वाई आई एम एबल टू शेयर द एक्सपीरियंस. सम ऑफ यू वुड बी एबल टू डू इट. ऐसा नहीं है कि कोई ज़रूरी नहीं कि सबके साथ नहीं होता है. Some of you would be able to do, some of you would not be able to do. But if you do it in a practice, just 30 seconds or 1 minute, जैसे मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में भी बोला था कि कुछ फिजिकल एक्सरसाइजेस या फिर योगा, you just start in your life just for 1 minute or 2 minutes in the morning. ठीक है, आप कितने बजे उठते हो कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता है. ठीक है, just start doing it. ठीक है, whether you are waking up at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning, but start doing, just spend 1 or 2 minutes out of this 24 hours for yourself. That will be benefiting you much more. Okay, and if you are doing it, please share your experience with me as well. Okay, starting with this, let us have our next page number, that is page number 48, that is the medieval India. In this page, that is, identify these famous monuments and write their names in the blanks. Choose your answers from the help box. So the very first one, this is the famous one, that is your Venkateshwar Tirupati temple. Second one, we have the Gol Gumbaj. Third one, we have the Amber Fort. Fourth one, we have, first one we have the Venkateshwar Tirupati temple. Second one, we have the Agra Fort. Third one, we have the Amber Fort. Fourth one, we have the Gol Gumbaj. Fifth one, we have the Fatehpur Sikri. Okay, next one, that is your number 6, we have Humayun's tomb. Seventh, we have the Brihadishwarar temple. And the 8th one, we have the tomb of Sher Shah Suri. Okay, one of the famous rulers as well. Okay, choose the correct option, that is the B part. Who amongst the following was the advisor and guardian of young Akbar when he ascended the throne? So he was the Baram Khan. That is when, since Akbar was very young enough to take it to the throne, or to have to take up the responsibility of the entire kingdom, so he was given one of the advisors as well as the guardian, who was no other than but Baram Khan. Let me show you the image of him. So he was the person who was Baram Khan, who was the advisor of Akbar. Next, if we go ahead, so we have here, that is, I hope I've shared the screen. Okay. Next we have here is, that is, who won the first battle of Panipat. So he was your Babur. Okay. In the case of Babur, we have the image of Babur as well. Let us go ahead. So he was the Babur who won the battle of Panipat, first battle of Panipat. Okay. Next, if we go ahead, so next we have, that is, who among these is credited with building the famous Shalimar Gardens at Srinagar? So he is your Jahangir. If you go ahead with this person as well, so he was the Jahangir who is responsible for making the famous Shalimar Garden at Srinagar. Next, if you can see the appearance, the kinds of clothing and everything, all these apparels, or the kind of this clothing was, dressing style was completely different from now as well, as most of us wear going ahead with our Western culture. Okay, moving ahead with this. This is the last one, that is, who amongst these laid the foundation of Maratha Empire? That is your Chhatrapati Shivaji, very famous person, and he is the one, that is the Chhatrapati Shivaji. And we have many serials as well as pictures related to him. And one more thing I would like to share here, that is my own personal experience. That is, name of the college is there. That is, one of the college is there in Delhi University, in Delhi basically. That is your Shivaji College, and it is based on him only. That is, the name of the college is basically on him. And the entrance, that is, the moment you enter the college, you will be having a very big, not very big, but you can say to be a medium sized statue of this person, this famous person. And this was the college from which I completed my graduation. Okay, that is by BSc Honors Botany. So I lived in Delhi for 3 years, basically 2010 to 2013. So in this way, the idol and everything was very much different there. Okay, just let us start with the last part, that is our current affairs. Okay, see the current affairs as well. Okay, these are the current affairs of today as well as of 3rd of November. 3 more Rafale fighter jets to reach India soon. That is, already we have 1 or 2. Okay, but some more are coming, so that we will be able to, or this is going to strengthen our army as well. The Rafale fighter jets will provide the Indian Air Force with unmatched air superiority in the region, with advanced avionics and deadly weapon package, which include Hammer, Meteor and Scalp missiles. Okay, Hammer, all of you know that Hammer is a simple tool as well. Okay, so some kind of there would be there, much destructive in nature. Meteor, as all of us we know, the stones which are falling from the space, and since if the meteors are able to reach to the surface of the earth, they can even destroy that region wherever they are going to fall. Okay, but still they get destroyed in the air only, and since they get converted into very small pieces, they are not going to, they do not cause any kind of trouble. Okay, the next which we have is here is, that is their Malabar naval exercise. That is your Australia, India, Japan and US commences the naval exercise in the Bay of Bengal. ये Bay of Bengal की जब हम बात करते हैं तो always remember that is Bay of Bengal, एक मतलब बंगाल की खाड़ी, उसको हिंदी में हम बोलते हैं, लेकिन ये पूरा का पूरा रीजन, जब आप उड़ीसा जाओगे, ठीक है, कोलकाता से उड़ीसा के लिए आप निकलते हो, तो आप यू विल बी गोइंग थ्रू दैट बे ऑफ बंगाल ओनली. ठीक है, या पूरी जब आप जाते हैं, ठीक है, पूरी बेसिकली, नॉट उड़ीसा, सॉरी, नॉट पूरी उड़ीसा. ठीक है, पहले आप वहाँ जाते हो, क्या बोलते हैं, गंगा सागर करने के लिए. ठीक है, आई डोंट नो द नेम ऑफ दैट प्लेस, बट द road or that travel lines which go through that, they used to go through, you will be able to have a sight of this Bay of Bengal as well. Okay, Ganga Sagar basically. Next, if we go ahead with this, so we have, that is the Malabar naval exercise will be displaying the high level of coordination between the navies of 4 powerful nations based on their commitment and shared values to an open and inclusive Indo-Pacific as well as international order, which is rules based. Okay, next we have here is that Maharashtra releases 57 crores for Asha workers. When we are talking about the Asha workers, so some of you would be knowing as well, अगर आप लोग ध्यान देते होंगे तो some people used to come to your houses for polio drops and all these things, or for even for your voter cards as well. So these are basically the NGOs or the semi-governmental workers, which are not government and not private, in the mid, they are basically working for the governments as well. So they are Asha, ANM, ठीक है, आंगनबाड़ी, ठीक है, all these are the common terms related to them only. Okay, US elections 2020, Joe Biden ahead with 220 electoral votes, Trump at 213. Who will be the next US president? Very close. So I hope this is going to be a tight match, or you can say that the election is going to be quite tough as well. As you can see, only 7 votes is the difference. Joe Biden is currently leading with 220, while Donald Trump is at 213 after he won Florida and Texas. The candidate who crosses 270 electoral votes will be declared the winner of the US presidential elections. Moving ahead, that is the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman expected to unveil another stimulus soon. Economic Affairs Secretary, that is the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, to boost India's economy, informed the Economic Affairs Secretary Tarun Bajaj on November 3rd. This economic boost is nothing but economic boost is related to providing some funds so that it would be better for either your MSME, that is your medium, small and micro enterprises, or providing, just like if you have seen that our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi has provided rupees 10,000 scheme to the street vendors. Okay, so this is a kind of boost only to India's economy only. Moving ahead with the top 5 current affairs of the 3rd November, that is day before yesterday. Day before yesterday only. That is the Portugal MP Duarte Pacheco elected as the President of Inter-Parliamentary Union. He was elected as the President of Inter-Parliamentary Union for 2020 to 23. On the other hand, Switzerland's Lawrence Fellman Real and Uruguay's Beatriz Argimon have been unanimously elected to IPU's Executive Committee. The voting for the election of the IPU president took place through remote electronic secret ballot. The window to cast votes was open for 24 hours. Next, that is the violin maestro T.N. Krishnan dies at the age of 92. Veteran violin master T.N. Krishnan passed away on November 2nd, 2020 in Chennai. He was 92. He was born in 1928 in Tripunithura, Kerala, and had later settled in Chennai. Krishnan was bestowed with the prestigious Padma Shri in 1973 and Padma Bhushan in 1992. Government to hold Parliamentary Winter Session 2020 in December-January. The central government is likely to hold a 2-week Parliamentary Winter Session 2020 from December 21. The final decision regarding the same will be taken by the government after the announcement of Bihar Assembly election results on November 10. Generally, the Parliament's winter session is held in the 3rd week of November every year. Twitter to introduce Art House in India to assist brands optimize their content. What is the meaning of this? Let us have a look. The Art House, a suite of services, has been launched earlier for various markets across the world and in Asia Pacific region and has given out successful campaigns. The Art House in India will help strengthen a brand's message by partnering with digital creators or influencers. US elections 2020, voting underway, no main battleground states. Okay. For the next one, the first ballots of votes were cast in the towns New Hampshire. Okay. Next is this. That is, we have completed with this part as well. So in this way we have completed our today's class related to this page number 43 and 48 along with the current affairs as well. Okay, so this was all for today. Next week again we will be going ahead with some more page numbers and with some more current affairs as well. Okay, so this was all for today. Thanks a lot for being with me, and please don't forget to take all the necessary precautions. Thank you and have a superb day ahead.